Park Jimin's name returned to the center of public attention after shocking news about his health condition appeared in various media. After several days of intensive care in hospital due to shortness of breath that made fans around the world panic, Jimin was finally rumored to be returning home to undergo a period of rest at home. However, behind the news of Jimin's return from the hospital, which should bring relief, attention was instead focused on Jungkook, a groupmate and the closest brother to him in BTS, who seemed unable to hide his deep concern. The news of Jimin falling ill had already made a stir on social media. Fans known as the Army flooded the timeline with prayers and best wishes for the singer's speedy recovery. The video showing Jimin being taken to the hospital with a weak face, wearing a medical mask, and accompanied by HYBE management staff went viral. The portrait made millions of fans around the world feel a mixture of worry and sadness. Although the agency tried to calm down with a brief statement that Jimin was recovering, many felt that it was not enough to relieve anxiety. After several days of treatment, the news finally came that Jimin was allowed to go home. The cameras of the media crew captured the moment when he was discharged from the hospital in modest clothes, accompanied by several staff. His face still looked pale, although he tried to give a small smile to the people waiting outside. That moment should have brought relief, but Jungkook's expression that came to accompany Jimin actually implied something else. Instead of relief, Jungkook was seen bowing his head many times, and the look in his eyes couldn't hide his deep concern. A close source familiar with the interaction said Jungkook was devastated when he heard Jimin had fallen ill. As the youngest member of BTS, Jungkook is known to have a special bond with Jimin. Over the years together, the two often show a familiarity that goes beyond just being colleagues. Jungkook often relied on Jimin as a figure who could calm and support him. Therefore, when Jimin suddenly had to enter the hospital, Jungkook reportedly could barely sleep and kept asking about the progress of his Hyung's condition. For ARMY, this emotional connection is not surprising. They have known for a long time how deep the bond is between the two. However, seeing Jungkook so open with concerns that he rarely appears in public adds a new emotional layer to the developing narrative. Many said that the look in Jungkook's eyes when he saw Jimin coming out of the hospital would be hard to forget. A sincerity that goes beyond words. On social media platforms, a photo of Jungkook looking agitated while walking next to Jimin immediately went viral. Hashtags such as #StayStrongJimin and #WeLoveYouJungkook dominate the world's trending topics. Fans not only sent prayers for Jimin, but also offered support for Jungkook, who was clearly overwhelmed emotionally. It's not just Jimin who needs strength, it's Jungkook too, one ARMY member wrote on Twitter. The comment quickly gained thousands of retweets and likes. Although the news that Jimin has returned home indicates that his health condition is gradually improving, many fans still voiced criticism of the management. They considered the busy schedule and excess pressure to be one of the main factors that worsened the health condition of BTS members. In several discussion forums, many fans demanded HYBE to be more transparent about the health conditions of her artists and dare to take concrete steps to protect them from too heavy a schedule. Jimin himself has not given an official statement after being discharged from the hospital, but the little smile he showed seemed to want to calm his fans. However, his tired eyes and slow pace reinforced concerns that he still needed a long time to fully recover. On the other hand, Jungkook looked so protective. When several cameras approached too close, Jungkook quickly got in the way, making sure Jimin didn't get distracted. The simple gesture only further confirms how great his affection and worry are. Observers of Korean pop culture judge that this moment is not just a story about an idol who falls ill, but also a reflection of the human side that is often not seen behind the stage spotlight. Jimin is not only a singer with a distinctive voice and an appearance full of charisma, he is also a vulnerable human being and can get sick. Similarly, Jungkook, who is often described as the golden magne with a perfect image, is still a young boy who can cry, worry, and lose his composure when people he cares about suffer. For fans, this moment is a stark reminder that despite the grandeur of the concert stage and global popularity, K-pop idols are still fragile human beings. They need space to rest, need emotional support, and need to be seen as a person, not just an entertainment machine. I saw Jungkook so sad, and it made me realize how heavy a burden they were carrying. We can't just sue, we must also give them space to heal. Wrote one fan in an ARMY community forum. The news of Jimin's return from the hospital has indeed calmed the situation a little, but worries still continue to loom. Many hoped that HYBE would give Jimin enough time to rest before he returned to his professional activities. In fact, a number of fans called for Jimin not to be forced to appear in public activities until he fully recovered. "We would rather wait for months than see him get sick again," an ARMY official told South Korean media, although there has been no further confirmation from the management. One thing that is clear is Jungkook's full support for Jimin. His presence beside Jimin, even when no official cameras were recording, was proof that the bond of brotherhood between the two went far beyond the stage. Many fans believe that this kind of affection is one of the reasons why BTS has been able to survive for so long and remain relevant in the midst of a violent entertainment industry. Jimin's recovery journey may still be long, but the story of this return has already left a deep imprint on the hearts of the public. He not only came home from the hospital, but also brought home the prayers of millions of fans who wanted to see him back to health. And by his side, there was Jungkook, who continued to guard, although with a face that could not hide his anxiety. A simple, yet meaningful portrait of brotherhood, which will continue to be remembered in BTS' long journey. Although Jimin was already at home, the news of his return still left a big question mark. Many are curious how severe the condition really is to make it have to be treated intensively. ARMY, with all its love, tries to find small pieces of information from photos, videos, or media reports to ascertain the state of their idols. Every little detail, such as her still pale face or her slow pace, was carefully analyzed. On the other hand, Jungkook is seen trying hard to maintain Jimin's privacy, even when many cameras are panning. He walked a little closer, as if to shield his hyung from excessive glare. The gesture left many fans touched and convinced that the relationship of the two is deeper than what is often seen in front of the public. A report from one of the Korean media wrote that Jungkook barely moved from Jimin's side during the treatment period. He was seen visiting the hospital several times at night, arriving quietly without much escort, just to confirm Jimin's condition. The source said that Jungkook rarely left the treatment room for too long and even asked the medical staff to always keep him updated on the progress of Jimin's condition. This fact further reinforces the public perception that Jungkook's affection is not just a formality of group mates, but a real form of caring born from years of emotional closeness. Now, with Jimin already at home, attention is shifting to how his recovery process will proceed. Many fans are calling for HYBE to actually give herself a break without coercion. Some even created an online petition urging the agency to suspend all of Jimin's activities until his condition is completely stabilized. This incredible support is proof that ARMY's love is not just about the music or the stage, but also about the health and happiness of the artists they admire.